Is it time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to say goodbye to Devin Bush? Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to the latest episode of your Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. With me, your host, Britsburgh, Owen, speaking to you here in the UK. Guys, if you've just found the Steelers Syndicate and you love fan-driven fan channels delivering news to you every day, as well as podcasts, live streams, all about our black and gold heroes. Guys, this channel is run by real fans. It's not a robot like Pittsburgh Steelers News. That's a robot, guys. It's not even real. If you look at where it's based as well, it's based somewhere in the middle of nowhere near Pittsburgh. And also Chat Sports, which is run by Cowboys, Raiders, and Broncos fans. But the Steelers Syndicate is run by me and Mark, who have got over 50 years of Pittsburgh Steelers fandom between us. Well, guys, obviously this question is going to be raised as to certain players and their futures with the Pittsburgh Steelers. A number of players are obviously playing for their futures over the next 4 games. The games that are coming up are going to be tough games. Carolina is going to be a tough game. Carolina are, even though they've got a losing record, a team on the up and up. Also, the fact that the Steelers still have to face Baltimore, Las Vegas, and the Cleveland Browns as well. Tough run-in for the Steelers to the end of the season, especially if they want to finish with a winning record. Now, one such player who is definitely playing for his future and a future contract is inside linebacker Devin Bush. Devin Bush is someone who came to the Pittsburgh Steelers with a great deal of pomp and circumstance. He really did come with a fanfare, didn't he? And in his first season with the Steelers, he really looked like the real deal, like the next Ryan Shazier, for example. But obviously, after that injury, that ACL injury, he really has suffered a setback and really has not been the same player since. Now, when you trade up, like the Steelers did in the draft in 2019, to take Devin Bush with the 10th pick of that round, you expect a special player, a real special player, someone who's going to be a franchise-changing player, a game-changing player. But I think it's fair to say that since Bush has come back from his ACL injury, he really has not been that franchise-changing player, that game-changing player that we all expected him to be. So, therefore, is it time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move on from Devin Bush, to say goodbye to Devin Bush? Is that what the Steelers need to do? Now, let's have a look at how Bush has performed this season. He's really suffered this season, I think. He has not really put it out there that he is worth a big new contract, which is what he will be looking for. We had the remarks that he made in the offseason regarding, it doesn't matter, I'll be playing in the NFL somewhere, which obviously did not endear him to Steeler fans. In addition to that, we've got a situation where at the end of this year, the Steelers have not taken up that 5th-year option, so he is a free agent. He will test the free agent waters. But if you look at what Bush has actually contributed this season to the Pittsburgh Steelers, at no point has he ever really delivered splash plays. No point has he stood out and said, here I am, look at how great I am, look at what a fantastic player I am, you need to re-sign me. If we look at his basic stats from this year, Bush has had 40 solo tackles, tied 124th. He has had no sacks, no forced fumbles, and no interceptions. No splash, 0 splash. There was 2 sacks last year during that fateful year. If we go in a bit more depth into his stats and really look at what Bush has done this year versus the AFC, he's had a total of 57 tackles. That's obviously career, but let's actually go now. Let's go into 2022 defensive stats. Let's look into those rather than those other stats at this moment in time. Let's go to those first. In the regular season, he's had 72 total tackles, 40 solos, 32 assisted tackles, 2 passes defensed. That's it. Nothing else. 2 passes defense, no splash play. His projections for the end of the year look like this: 94 total tackles, 52 solos, 42 assisted. Nothing across the lines in terms of forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, sacks, anything like that, and 3 passes defensed. In the last 5 games, he's had 28 tackles, 13 solo, 15 assisted, 1 pass defensed. In terms of Bush over this part of the season, he really has not gone out there and shown us that he is worthy of this new contract. If we break it down a bit more, look at the AFC. Against the AFC this year, 57 total tackles, 31-26, 2 passes defensed, no splash, nothing there at all that displays splash. Away from home, he's had 40 tackles, 21 solos, 19 assisted, 2 pass defense. So all his passes defense this year have come away from Acrisure Stadium. And in the month of December, 10 tackles, 7 solo, 3 assisted, and nothing else. Zero, zip, nothing else has happened. Bush has had a very quiet season. Now, this is something that really could cost him a future contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, what you want from a player who's in the final year of his contract that hasn't had his fifth-year option taken up is a player to go out there and really show that he is worth a new deal. Really show that he is worth that big contract. Now, I'm someone who's spoken up for Bush in the past. Go back and watch my videos. I've spoken up for Devin. But has he ever been seen flying around to tackles? He's been seen falling off tackles this year and running after people, but not putting in the maximum effort. He's taken up space, hasn't really done anything else. He's not really helped blow up the run game. He's not really stood out at any point in any game as an outstanding inside linebacker. He's been good, but not great. Now, this is what we've got to realize, Steeler Nation. This guy was taken 10th overall. When you take someone that high, when you trade up to get someone like him, you are really placing a stock in him and you want to see something from him. And to me, we have not seen that from Devin Bush. Now, at the end of the season, I think we let him go out there and test the free agent waters. Let him see if someone's going to come in and offer him that big money deal that he thinks he's worth. The Steelers would do face a situation where this coming summer, they're going to have to make some decisions at the inside linebacker position. Miles Jack has been suffering with injury, so I don't think it's fair to really cast any aspersions on his performances, given the fact that he's been suffering with that knee injury. Behind Devin Bush, what is there? Robert Spillane, who gets blown up on coverage all the time, is picked on in running in passing plays by opposition offenses continually. Add to that Marcus Allen, who is one of the worst inside linebackers I have ever seen in my entire life. You've got also a fact that someone like, for example, Mark Robinson has had very little game time. Could he be someone that comes in and makes a difference next season? But remember, he's a rookie this year. He's played only one season as a linebacker, has very limited experience. So inside linebacker could easily become a position of need for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the free agency period and in the draft. I think that is going to be the fact. And I think that maybe it is time to move on from Bush. He's not really shown that he's been worth that 10th round pick. Yes, if we can get him back on a team-friendly deal, then maybe. But do you want him as a backup linebacker? Can he play special teams? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. And what's it going to cost to bring him back? What's he going to agree to? That's a big question for Steeler Nation. But overall, I think probably it will be time for to move on from Bush at the end of this season. Thank you for watching the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I've been your host, Britsburgh, Owen. It's been a pleasure to speak to you here from the UK about our heroes in black and gold. Guys, drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think of Devin Bush's season so far and what you think should happen to Bush at the end of this year. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's finish it the only way we can. Here we go, Steelers. Come on!